Here are a few of my best tips that got me from a 498 to a 514. I'll start with just a few tips for each section, and then I'll move into how I reviewed my practice exams. For Chem Phys, don't just memorize equations, really understand them and know how to manipulate them. So with whatever active learning technique you're using, it could be Anki, it could be just regular flashcards, make sure that when you're coming across equations, specifically for Chem Phys, you are understanding where each of the variables comes from, where the units come from for each variable, and how to rearrange the equation quickly and efficiently to solve for any of the variables in the equation. You'll also really want to do this in your practice, so you'll memorize the equation just in its standard form, but then when you're solving, you'll want to be able to manipulate and plug in variables into the equation relatively easily and fast. Moving on to the cars section, try experimenting with different strategies until you find one that works consistently for you. This will start with like a pretty heavy trial and error process, but once you find the strategy that works best for you, you'll start seeing an increase in your score with each practice exam. There's a lot of different strategies that come with different test prep materials, and I think there's also a lot of different strategies that you can find on YouTube. I think I found my strategy when I was a part of the pre-medley community, which is just an online MCAT community that you can join at a really low cost. If you're interested in it, I'll drop the name in the comments. For cars, you will also want to make practice a daily habit, so you'll want to be doing at least one cars passage per day, if not 2 to 3 cars passages per day, so that way you're getting really exposed to a variety of different passages and how the AAMC likes to ask questions for cars. Another thing that really helped me for the cars section is incorporating like reading time in your day. I used to really love reading, and while I was studying for the MCAT, it was something that I kind of gave up. But I found that when I was reading for pleasure at the end of the day or kind of to wind down, my car score started to go up because I just overall started to enjoy reading more. For biochem, you will really want to know all of the metabolic pathways and how they connect to each other. You want like a big picture foundation of how these biochemical pathways interact with one another and how they kind of like work in concert with each other. Another tip that really helped me for biochem was a testing strategy, which was passage mapping. As I was reading a passage, I would write down like very short and condensed notes of the passage and how different things connect in the passage. So I would have like a word or an abbreviation with like an arrow tying to another word or different abbreviation, and basically it would like map out the passage for me in a way that's really quick and easy to reference and to understand. This really helped me make connections with the passage and the questions, so that way I wasn't going back to the passage scrambling to find a minute detail. I was just looking at my cheat sheet and like tying things together, and it was way easier to answer questions this way. Okay, as far as Psych-Soc goes, Anki was the key in my opinion. I really like the Miles Down deck for this, but